Deion Sanders believes the media is jealous of college players making NIL money. During his latest presser as Colorado gets ready for Baylor, Deion had this to say. For Facebook, he said, "Once upon a time, you guys never attacked college players. Now they're making more money than y'all, and some of y'all are envious and jealous about that. So you are on the attack. I know you are going to do your job and what you must do, but your job does not say attack the personal stuff. Leave it to be personal, because if we start flipping the script on y'all wouldn't like it." And Deion even hesitated and thanked God for stopping him and having the discipline to not go forward with what he was saying about the media. Deion is being negative. He recently called out the media for being negative. And everything I've seen from Deion, and I love the brother, I love what he represents, but Deion is being negative. And he's hiding behind religion. The reality is, what's happening at Colorado, I don't think the media is attacking the Buffaloes team because they got dudes making money on their team. I think a lot of what's happening at Colorado, the scrutiny that Deion is getting, is because Deion ran his mouth a lot and he talked a good game. So far, he has not been able to back it up on the field. That's what's happening at Colorado. Are there media and reporters jealous of players making a lot of money? I'm sure that's prevalent throughout college football. But specifically at Colorado, what I see happening with Deion in this program is that he's talking a big game and he's not producing on the field. He's producing in revenue for the college, revenue for the city. He's producing with talents. He's making sure his son Shador and a son to him, Travis, is in the best light. He's doing all those things, but he just ain't producing enough wins. I'm going to continue to cover Deion. I'm not going to lie. There's nothing more compelling than the brand that is Deion Sanders and what he's doing in college football. It's probably not going to last a long time. I hope it does, but most likely it's not. So you better take the views while they're available, because this dude is something, man. And let me say this, as a person that grew up in church, right? I grew up in church. I'm not speaking to my church that I grew up in, because I met some of the greatest people of my life at my home church. Were there bad people? Yes, there are bad people everywhere. What I will say, some of the worst people I've met in this world have hid behind scripture and hid behind religion profusely. And I think it's disgusting. I'm not saying that that's Deion's story. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not putting that on that brother. He seems to be very well connected to his God. What I'm saying is, it takes more than you just saying thank you, God, a few times during your presser to fool me, right? I'm watching Deion Sanders be negative. He told the media not to be negative, and he's going out and being negative with the media. He's taunting them. So what type of good favor do you expect to get when your team loses 2-3 games in a row? When your son, Shador, is not producing at quarterback and you're blaming your line? What type of favor do you expect to get when all you've done is be negative with the media after saying the media's been negative with you and your kids? I just don't understand how that dichotomy is going to work. Again, are there reporters that are jealous of the money that players are making? I'm sure. I think a lot of reporters who I talk to, right, I think they're happy that players are getting paid, because they see coaches going and getting bags every step of the way and leaving these players high and dry. I don't know a lot of reporters personally that are jealous of players. I'm sure it's prevalent throughout college football. I just don't communicate with those guys. I just think Deion is looking for cop-outs and already looking for excuses as his time as Colorado Buffaloes coach nears its end. You want to know what Deion continues to talk about? Is what the media is doing and what he's got going on from a personal standpoint, and how great Travis is and how great Shador is. You want to know what Deion ain't talked about one time? The future of the Colorado Buffaloes team, life after Shador, life after Travis. And you want to know why I don't think he's talking about that? Because he ain't going to be there. Deion had this beautiful moment before that same presser where he invited a young kid on stage with him, and she took a couple questions. It was a beautiful moment. And that followed up from a moment, I believe, over the weekend after Deion's squad defeated Colorado State, in which he told a college reporter, yo, I'm gonna give you a full sit-down interview just because you're in college doing a job. That's so beautiful to me as a guy that covered sports at an elite level at Tennessee football. We're gonna talk about it in a second. While I was in college, I was most times the youngest reporter in the room. I can only imagine if a Butch Jones gave me a one-on-one interview at that point. That's beautifulness from Deion. But this other stuff, this blaming, this victim, like, that's junk. And Deion knows that's junk. I think he's trying to change the narrative before the narrative gets rough, which Colorado's got a tough schedule ahead, and we'll see how they do. And Robert Griffin III, Lord have mercy, please get it out your mouth. Lord, can you please give it a break? Sheesh, man. I don't think Deion, nor Shador, nor Shiloh have any problems with the success that they've got in the last name that they behold, have any problems with having somebody take care of that bit of business for them. I do not think they need you to try to do that job 24/7. It's nasty. Listen, man, I know a lot of y'all love Deion, have personal relationships with Deion. I just want to put it out there. Fans of today are not stupid. You know, this is not 20, 25 years ago. The sports fan, on average, is a lot smarter today than they were a long time ago. People pick up on biases. And when things are going wrong for a program and they see you find a way to defend, they'll watch it for a while, but sooner or later they'll begin to tune you out because your biases always show. The point I'm trying to make is you're not doing Deion Sanders any favors by always defending him no matter what. And Robert Griffin III, who was recently let go by ESPN, you know, you just lost your job trying to do that. It's a Jason Whitlock formula, if we're being honest. That doesn't keep your job. Like, honest to God truth, oftentimes the first person to go is the person that people believe there's a lot of bias with. Like, that never saves you in employment. Like, here's a story. You're about to see your boy Ferro show no bias in. Everybody knows what college I went to. If you don't know, I'm a Tennessee Vol. We're number 6 in the country. We got a big game in Norman, Oklahoma that I'm about to talk about in a second. But first things first, I got to keep it honest about my university, my alma mater that I love dearly. Saw a story come out about Tennessee that I did not like whatsoever. In order to adjust to NIL, name, image, likeness, which means players are getting played, Tennessee is now charging fans an uptick of upwards of 10% as a talent fee on all tickets to help the university pay athletes, a part of the new revenue sharing plan set to begin in 2025. The university shared the news via email, and in theory, what's going to happen is all tickets are going up in prices, so Tennessee can fund athletes at the top level. They're competing with the Georgias of the world, the Floridas of the world, the Alabamas of the world for top tier recruits, and Tennessee's trying to put themselves in position to do just that. Again, I went to Tennessee. Tennessee has a very large and healthy booster fund, but again, it is University of Tennessee. A lot of people have success from and don't go back to the Knoxville area once they're done, if I'm being completely honest with you. So Tennessee's trying to find a way to make sure they're afloat and clicking on all cylinders with the revenue that they're going to pay players. Listen, as a Tennessee Vol, when I was there, we were pretty trash at football for the most part. Butch Jones got us hyped for a couple of months, but then that went south. The reality is Tennessee has not been good at football for quite some time, and we got Josh Heupel, and we're really good right now. And Tennessee is pretty much saying, as long as we're riding this high, we're not going to ruin it. We're going to show to Coach Heupel and anybody that's concerned, starting with our AD, Danny White, we're committed to excellence. And because it's Knoxville, it's not as prominent as some of the other cities. Tennessee is finding ways to make sure they got the money and funds to pay players, to get people to come to Knoxville. Beautiful university, by the way. Y'all know I can't say nothing bad about Knoxville. Knoxville was good to me while I was there. But for the most part, I stayed within the campus, guidelines, the college area. It's beautiful. Love Tennessee. I love my university. I don't like this, if I'm being completely honest. Knoxville, the city, is compromised of a bunch of hardworking people that do their darndest, that do their best day in, day out. And let me tell y'all something. There's not a lot going on in Knoxville, Tennessee. sometimes for a lot of hardworking people in Knoxville, their whole year is compromised of just going to one Tennessee football game a year. One of those 6-7 home games is all that matters in their life and all that matters in their world. I've met people that literally say they're only still alive to hopefully watch the Tennessee Volunteers win a national championship one more in their lifetime. I'm for real. I mean, personally, I think that's ridiculous, but that is a lot of people's reality. And with that type of passion and love, Lord have mercy, you don't want to outprice that fan that has that type of love and passion and feels like they only can go to a tailgate. And by the way, even going to a tailgate, you're going to pay with your way for parking nowadays. That's not just at Tennessee, that's everywhere, but that's a place that I'm very familiar with. I just don't want to see that fan not be able to go to a game. I mean, Lord have mercy, they've dealt with so much in their lifetime. It's one thing for you to say, yo, we got to continue to build up the stadium. We building a new hotel. We got to continue to build up campus. I get it. I think the casual fan can say, you know what, whatever. And you continue to increase tuition. But now you're telling me, damn, we making a lot of money, but we got to make more to pay players, when for years, every university fought the theory of paying players. So it's like, damn, now I got to pay the players? What kind of say-so do I get in that? For that, like, does that now mean I get to hold a coach to the fire even more? Because now we're paying players, literally like the fans are paying for players. I think that's ridiculous on a lot of levels. Because, and I think that adds a lot of pressure to these players, by the way, that are supposed to be at the collegiate level, but now pretty much for all intents and purposes are professional athletes because they're getting paid. Also, people are not going to know exactly what guys are making specifically. So do I hold player number 32 to the same standard as I do the quarterback that's most likely making a bag? Coaches, if you're a coach in one of these programs and you see an uptick in pricing that fans are paying for, do we have a right to say, nah, coach, you don't get 3 years at the program. You need to go in 1 year if it don't look good. Like, there's just a lot that goes into that unfortunately at the lowest of levels, the fan gets hit the worst. I'll tell you one thing, Knoxville won't have to worry about paying those uptick in prices this Saturday. Tennessee will be on the road in Norman, Oklahoma for a big game. It's number 6 versus number 15, ladies and gentlemen. My Tennessee Vols, even with the price increases, my Tennessee Vols are heading to Norman, Oklahoma for the first time to take on the Sooners. Now, if you're not familiar with a little bit of the backstory on this one, Josh Heupel was at one point in time the quarterback for Oklahoma. And the rumors go, Heupel would have loved to have been the Sooners head coach. A lot of it was the timing not aligning, but also it looks like Oklahoma had other coaches on their mind when it was time to potentially make a run at Heupel. Tennessee scooped Heupel up. It's been love at first sight, holy matrimony. He looks like him for real. And our offense is elite. And for all intents and purposes, we know Heupel can get the offense right. But this year, what's so special about this team, our defense is right. We got some athletes on the field. I mean, it's not just about James Pierce, who's going to go top 5, top 8 in the draft. We got some guys on the field. I've watched pretty much every minute of the first 3 games in which Tennessee's looked phenomenal. And I believe we're going to look phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, for all my Tennessee Vols out there, I think this game's going to look like 2022 LSU. 2022 LSU, where we went into LSU and then we put a beating on them boys. One of my friends told me that, and I believe it to be true. I think Oklahoma's, from what I've seen of them, I watched all of their game last weekend. They struggled for most of that game. They ain't seen an offense like this. We're going to blow them out by 14, 21 points. It's going to look like number 3, number 4 in the country after this weekend, I believe is what people are going to be saying about the Tennessee Vols. This is our wake-up weekend. Now, are we as good as number 3, number 4? I actually don't think so. But because Oklahoma struggled through but got through their first 3 games, they're at number 15. Number 6 is about to put a beating on number 15, even though number 6 is on the road. After this weekend, I think Tennessee Vols are going to be the talk of college football. Everybody's going to be watching. It's a college game day game. The biggest game of college weekend incorporates my Tennessee Vols. And I think we finna put on a show for all of America to see. Tennessee Vols by 21 points. Boomer Sooner where? Josh Heupel returning to where it all started for him as a player. Yeah, it's smoke. And I think Oklahoma's in for a rude awakening. Let me know your thoughts. All right, y'all, the NFL season is here. Head over to Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code Ferro. You can already make your picks for the entire season. Here are some guys that I believe are going to have great years. If your picks are correct, you're going to win a lot of cheese. Use my promo code Ferro. Tell me when you did it. I might even give you a free copy of Madden 25 or NCAA College Football 25.